phase. Revan, predictions for this. You think we're going to see any targeted bans on certain players?
You got to target fears, man.
Yeah.
You got to just, if you're on Dream Team, you got to do something to take fears or kind of limit what he could do on the map, right? And Chino, right away, taking out the Shiva. Even Phizzurp from time to time, especially in Search and Destroy, he likes to go do the Shiva.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there's that first AR ban. We'll see what the answer back is. I like that. You can kind of see they let their opponents pick first. Let's take High Caliber out as well, something we've seen time and time again from the North American scene. Afterburner going away. Revan, break down this decision for me. Why do you think they decided to drop this one out?
Well, the thing with the boost slide, right? You're able to cover so much of the map, especially if you use that with Afterburner. But because Afterburner gets taken out, maybe we see something like Overclock get used. Yeah,
look at how quickly Lacefield protects that Vesper.
Immediately.
The extended mags going away. That's the kind of typical counter we see. As you all know, if you've played Black Ops 3, that Vesper runs out of ammo very quickly without extended magazines. And then finally, 2 more bans coming in. Overclock and Rapid Fire. Nothing too crazy in Game 1. Excited to see how these teams perform with the Vesper without the extended magazines.
All right, so something to take away, obviously, both tacticals still, or all the tacticals available to use, but mainly the stun, the concussion, and the flashbang. You heard Maven and Mr. X talking about the flashbang. I think the flash is actually a bit better than the concussion. I know that's the thing that might annoy me the most when I get hit by it.
Yep, well, as we head into this one, you've got to expect now with Annihilator being, with Overclock being gone, as well as Afterburner, you think Flak Jacket's going to be used. Will teams use those primary
Maybe
grenades?
You don't even use a perk.
Exactly, I mean, and that's kind of what you're looking at here. Now in the Specialist draft, Kinetic Armor being picked up by Lacefield. Love that decision, and there's the answer back as well from Diabolic. Those 2 players will be in charge of trying to break that hard point. You can see the typical Annihilator being brought out, as well as Scythe for H2K.
Yeah, Fears always uses that Annihilator, man. So Heat Wave will be the last Specialist chosen by H2K. That's going to go to Phizzurp, but for the most part, you know, I see some abilities. I see a good mix of abilities and weapons. I think it's split half and half. I really want to see what is Thunder going to do with this Tempest. That's not something you see get a lot of use when compared to something like a Heat Wave or a Scythe.
It's a surprising kill streak, right? Because, sorry, Specialist, because you get to that second hard point, right? You get inside that auto area, players have to flood in through bricks, through tins. If the entire team spawns Grandmas and you land 1 Tempest shot on a player pushing through tin, that'll chain to the rest of the players coming inside. We've seen the Specialist needs to be used at the correct moment. Yes, the abilities can come up multiple times a game, but is that reasoning to just spam them whenever they come up, or should you wait for that perfect time, that perfect hard point? Let's say the Heat Wave for when you're sitting top Grandmas. It's the decisions that players have to make on the fly, and with Overclock being banned, you won't see the Specialist come up as quickly as you normally would in some other games.
You know, that's a very fair point, and it's a very interesting dynamic. I remember having multiple conversations about it during the LAN qualifier. You know, it's all about consistent use. Is this a situation where I'm going to get consistent use from my Annihilator, from my ability, and when am I going to decide to use it? I don't think you want to wait for that perfect moment. I think once you get it, you got to start thinking to use it, because the longer you wait, that's time spent where you could be earning it again.
Absolutely, but then that also comes into play where if you're using one of the lethal ones you don't get as often, well, I don't want to just use my Purifier just to use it. If I know this is my last one, I should save it for that perfect moment, that perfect hard point, that perfect scenario. But as we kind of get set up into this game, you can see the players finalizing their classes. What do you expect to see on Fringe Hardpoint? Obviously, the M8 is still open. The Vesper is in game with no extended mags. That should definitely make a difference. You think teams will kind of say, you know what, let's not even use the Vesper, let's kind of go away from it, or is it that good that teams will still just use it without extended mags?
I think it's that good. You still use the Vesper. Obviously, that multi-kill potential is now decreased because there is no extended mags. But speaking about Fringe as a whole, it's a very assault rifle-dominated map. So players like Fears, somebody like Sender or Chino, you're looking for them to really pick up the slack for the team, you know, kind of carry the team on their back. Because there's so many power positions around each and every hardpoint where you could set up and you could definitely do a lot of damage around the map.
Well, as we begin to load into this game, it's now going to come into play. These ARs you mentioned earlier, banning out Fears. It's the first thing DT tried to do with that Shiva. Loading into this game, though, to kick off the Call of Duty World League North American Division. Be sure to use the hashtag CWL PS4. Get in on all the action on Twitter. Revan, I got to ask now, predictions for this first matchup. Who do you think takes it?
You know, for Hardpoint, I think DT is going to take map 1.
Okay.
So I'm going to be looking for them. Specifically, I'm going to be looking at the Sender, or I think actually Chino. I'm going to change that. So Chino versus Fears. That's going to be my little in-game matchup between these players.
All right, well, you're just giving me a first map prediction. I'm taking H2K to win this first series 3-1. We are loading into game number 1, so let's hop in there. Who we hopping on board with off the start, Revan?
I think we got to look at Chino, man. He was one of my players to pick, so let's see what he decides to do. off the start of this game, taking a look at his class, he's got that M8, customized primary gunfighter 1. No first perk, using fast hands and tac miss, no blast suppressor on his class.
Heads up play from him to get right into this white truck positioning. You can see he's utilizing that cover. He can shoot down players that are pushing from that long sight lines on street. Some shaky shots there momentarily from Chino, but he does clean up the kill there on Phizzurp. Off the start, does look like DT trying to hop in this hard point, but now you can see the submachine gun play from Legal. Fear's now being dropped behind. DT trading kills very efficiently off the start of this game.
Yeah, as time starts to wind down on this middle hard point, you can clearly see this one's pretty tough to control. You can't really get too much time, but it's almost time to start rotating over towards that junkyard hard point. Lacefield makes his way inside the hard point.
Ooh.
The laser side, but no extended mags, unable to get that double kill as both teams just kind of trading kills back and forth. 10 seconds remaining, you got to start moving to the next one.
I like this decision, though, from Lacefield. Puts on that laser sight to make his hip fire more accurate. You know, I don't have as many bullets, so I better make sure the ones that I do have count. Like the head positioning there from Legal as he begins to rotate back out of bricks. Early control of the second hard point going over to H2K. Phizzurp with that man of war in hand in charge of watching this back alley, and he wins the first gunfight.
And they got a great setup. They have auto cover. They got two players over near bricks. Phizzurp picks up 2 right there as it's going to be H2K going huge inside the hard point. One more player. It's going to be Happy from DT trying to make his way inside, but you see his teammates one up. He gets taken down, and once again, H2K seem to be able to hold on to their control.
So everything right now going well for H2K. Yeah. They're holding the spawns they want. They've got control, and just as I say that, all 4 players get completely demolished, and Diabolic is pushing out that back spawn. What a turn of events for DT, and that's really what makes the game mode and the momentum movement from Black Ops 3 so addicting to play with. Right there, Diabolic decides to push right through, change that movement together, gets to that strong spot, but just like that, you can see H2K able to flip it back.
And now we're starting to go into one of the more important hard points on this map. This is certainly one where if you lock it down, you can definitely get the full 60 seconds. It's going to be Chino in the back trying to fight for spawn control as the hard point has popped up. Chino, he gets taken down by Phizzurp. He sets up on the anchor roll. Happy now, the furthest one push up for DT, and he's all alone. He's got to stay alive. He's going to pop the heat wave, trying to take out this player, but Phizzurp comes back from the respawn, takes him down.
So break this down for me, Revit. Where do you want to be holding down these spawns from? What is the perfect setup you want for this hill?
All right, so obviously you got your guy inside the hard point. You got the anchor player. He's going to be over near like the back trains where all the boxes up. You could have one player over near the train tracks just kind of watching that long rotation, and then you need one guy watching auto. There are a ton of places you can watch auto from, mainly near the back silos, but a lot of places where you could hide from players who are coming around that corner.
Well, as we continue to mention kind of where the game is breaking down, interesting thing I do want to point out, the Man of War elected to being used a lot, even with the M8 open. There you can see Phizzurp making use of it inside the hard point. He's on a 4th streak, now 12 and 10. You can see no perk 1 from him. It's something you did predict due to those bans of the ban protect phase. Lacefield now with that kinetic armor. We'll see what work he can get done. Right now, though, H2K out to a 60-second lead.
And this is certainly a hard point where you could lock down for a lot of time as well. As long as you're controlling both sides of the train tracks, you could force DT to spawn pretty far away. As you see them now, like they're spawning all the way near auto. They have a ways to go before they're even able to contest this hard point.
Look at the confidence from H2K. Lacefield there calls out to his teammates, hey, you push through small room, I'll push the back rails area with kinetic armor. They force those spawns all the way on the opposite side of auto, and now it was a 40, 50-second lead in Grandma's.
Now they're spawning near junkyard.
Almost a 90-second lead. H2K continuing to run away with game number 1, and it's Lacefield now on a 6th streak. He finally, though, does fall to the opposition, but the damage has already been done. DT in a rough spot in game 1.
Yeah, and Legal just got his scythe. If he wants to take it out here, he does get taken out, but he could certainly do or make a lot of kills there. But they're up by around 100 points. Yeah. Phizzurp, he's got streaks to work. He's got the lightning strike. He's got the Hellstorm missile. Things are looking great right now for H2K.
Absolutely, H2K electing to give up the final few seconds of that last hard point. So through our first rotation, it's really been all H2K so far. The slaying is fully in their favor. Really, all momentum is in their favor. You mentioned the streaks from Phizzurp. Great uses of the specialists that we've seen so far. Really, everything working out for them. And here comes that first score streak used by Phizzurp. That's the Hellstorm dropping Diabolic.
Yeah, so takes down Diabolic, but he also gets the information on where the other players for DT are located. I need to switch over to Chino, man, because I got to see what's going wrong with him. He's one of my players to watch going into this map. He's a main assault rifle player for this DT team. This map definitely favors an assault rifle kind of player, but he just seems to find he struggles. And one key thing I'm looking at is look at the time, the hard point for DT.
Yep.
I mean, all the players are around the same area, but nobody's even hit that 20-second mark. Finally, Happy does, but you look at somebody like Lacefield for H2K, they spent over a minute inside the hard point already.
Lacefield's almost got more time than the entire DT team combined, so you can see the objective-heavy play out of H2K, selfless stuff from them. And when you've also got the most time in your team and you're double positive, that's quite the start you'd want if you're an H2K fan. Through this first hard point, though, it does look like the final time does go to DT, but they are still down by almost a minute and a half. Nice gunfight victory from Lacefield. He continues to challenge. That one will finally not go in his favor, but look at the flank from Phizzurp. He continues to outsmart his opponents in his positioning. This back alley is his area of the map, and he lets them know by continuing to win gunfights here.
And by staying alive, he's forcing DT to worry about him in this position. He comes back, he takes down Chino, but it's perfectly fine if H2K loses control. Phizzurp has the lightning strike ready to use, but it doesn't look like he needs to use it just yet. The grenade comes in from Lacefield. As 25 seconds remain on this current hardpoint, you got to start thinking about the next one, the Grandma's Hill. If you're on DT, you set up early for that one. You got the scythe, put Chino inside the hardpoint, looking out the window, lock down the middle street. He's going to take it out right now.
This is where they need to come back. Right here in this moment. They got the last 20 seconds of scrap time. They'll begin to kind of break away that lead that you see, the deficit that they're in right now. The pressure coming in from H2K down rails. Do you agree with this decision? I think it's the right play is to try to go for those spawns.
Yeah, always play for spawns. That's always the safer play. And H2K, they got time to play with, right? So they could definitely afford it. Sender, it looks like he was able to drop the Cerberus on the map. So I didn't even notice that he got streaks. This could definitely be a turning point in the game for DT. They just need to make sure they make their kills here.
He's already used his Hellstorm. He still has that Cerberus rolling around on the map. EMPs will have to come into play. Chino, utilizing that M8, able to pick up one kill. What was almost a 100-second lead is down to just 40 seconds. DT beginning to mount the comeback in the first game of their COD World League experience. Sender trying to lock down that outside Granny's area. He's got two players to beat inside the hill. We'll see if he can get the better of him, but Fears drops him with that secondary pistol. What a heads-up play from him.
Yeah, Sender just had to make a play happen right there. His teammates were so far away. And you even wonder, do you even push for these 10 seconds? You got to wonder, like, if you push in and you don't make that kill, you're feeding extra square because that's a kill made inside the hardpoint. So you allow the H2K players to get closer and closer to the streak. So it looks like H2K, they will stabilize for a second there. It's getting pretty close for DT, but now up by roughly 70 points. H2K, they still have a very comfortable lead here.
What is that challenge coming out of Happy? I'm not quite sure if I agree with that decision there. As the patience from Lacefield paid off, he just stayed pre-aiming that corner. Here come those far out spawns again, all the way back in tin, because H2K continue to push out that rails and small room area. It's such a smart play from them, Revan, to know, hey, we've got our person locking down the orange truck area. Let's have the rest of our team get aggressive towards the other side of the map. Fears now utilizing that cover with the M8. It's going to be tough to take him down from here. Nice use of the heat wave out of Happy. He does get the beat down on his opponent. So 80 seconds still between these two teams. It seems every time DT tries to just chip away at this lead, Revan, they just can't really get more than 10, 20 seconds in it.
Right, they're always breaking the hard point towards like the 20-second mark left, and that's when H2K, they're like, okay, you could have that scrappy time. We're going to rotate. We're going to set up early for the next hard point. Get in the positions we want to control. But moving over to Diabolic, he's getting pretty close to some streaks, and it's actually a little weird to see that players are still using the HCXD when flak jacket is still allowed. I guess it just kind of keeps your opponent honest, right? They have to use flak jacket if you're going to be using a lot of HCXDs.
Well, at this moment, H2K outslaying their opponents by about 13 kills. There's the HC being used, but Legal actually drops Diabolic. Not only did it kill Diabolic with the Semtex, but the HC blew up as well. Heads up play from him. It's still a 1-minute lead and growing for H2K. Things slowly running out of time for DT. Fears continuing to stay confident with that AR. He has the Annihilator. His teammate Phizzurp. Oh, they've got specialists all over. I think everyone on their team has a specialist. This is where you see H2K try to close out this game.
And now Legal, he's got the sight out. He does get shut down fairly early by Chino, but here comes Phizzurp. He's got the heat wave. He's inside the hard point rack of time. He does get taken down, moving over to Fears. He's signed up for the next one. There's only 5 seconds remaining on the middle hard point. Look at the minimap. Everybody from DT, they're spawning way back barn. They have a ways to go before they even get close to this new hard point.
Well, if you're a fan of DT right there, those were probably the best two opportunities you could have to come back in this game. The Scythe, as well as the Annihilator being wasted. Unfortunately, though, DT's still playing by trying to get that break, Revan. They've been doing it all game long. The EMP's being used by both teams now. A team kill does come in from H2K, but it does seem that they still have the pressure on the hill that they need. quite the suspect of a challenge there from Legal as he had that Vesper from range with no extended mags. Phizzurp trying to take down 2 players, but only 21 seconds left for H2K to take home this map #1 win.
And Fears, man, he only has 40 seconds inside the hardpoint, but he's just looking over his buddies, right?
Yeah.
You got Legal, you got Lacefield just laying down inside the hardpoint along with Phizzurp. And then you have the comfort of having Fears looking over you, man. I mean, he doesn't have that many kills, but you saw him standing up inside 10, looking out the window. He got a couple kills there. And that's not for the new hardpoint. Fears is already in a good position to control spawns for his team.
And look at how much that completely changes the final outcome of this game, right? DT know they need to break this hardpoint right off the start. If they win that gunfight against Fears, they give themselves a much better opportunity of getting that spawn. Instead, Fears gets the better of his opponent, shuts down the site there. They just got one more player to beat inside the hardpoint. Fears' only job right here is watched in. He's got 2 players on his screen. He gets one.
Ooh.
Chino is able to help his teammate there. That's happy to get the second, but the time
You got
is
to use the heat wave here.
H2K need to close this out. He uses the heat wave, but it doesn't pay off. There's another gunfight victory by Legal. So back and forth, but it does look like H2K should be able to close out this game.
Yeah, time's starting to wind down. Diabolic, you got to push inside the hardpoint, at least contest.
Oh, no.
He gets taken out by Fears, who's now getting his hands dirty inside the objective. Phizzurp here coming up the stairs. H2K, they're so close to closing out this first map.
Phizzurp with over 1 minute and 5 seconds to his name loses that 3rd gunfight, but now the rotation should come in from H2K towards that rails hardpoint to try to close out this game. You're basically going to need a flawless performance from DT if they want to win this map 1. I just don't see that.
I mean, it could certainly be done. You almost saw it there in the FaZe Rise game on map 1.
Yep.
FaZe only need 1 more point. Here now, H2K needs 2. And here comes Happy. He's able to take down 1. Diabolic trying to follow it up. They have control of the hardpoint. They might be able to do this, Courage.
Well, the pressure still coming in from H2K. There's the break now coming in from Fears. They just got 1 more player to beat inside the hardpoint with the contest. Still, though, not able to close out this game. You got to love the heart from DT.
Never give up.
Him out. I really can't say it's all over as of yet. Still 30 seconds on this hard point. They still have full control of it. He's got 1 teammate sitting across the map from in mid-street in that L wall area who's going to try to catch these players off guard. Will it come in time, though? That's the big key. You can still see they're holding it off. 2 seconds still remaining for H2K.
Okay.
DT are doing everything they can, and right now that's 4 dead. All of H2K has spawned out.
However, that's fine. You know, DT, they cannot win on this current hardpoint. So it's going to come down to this middle hardpoint potentially. You see Fierce, he's coming around the back. He might be able to find 1.
But there's no point in going for it. So with just 2 seconds they need, that's actually going to do it. H2K do win that one, 250 to 238, but I got to give some props to DT that they were even able to stay close in that one at the end. Here's your final kill cam. Out of Legal, utilizing that cover behind the L wall to drop that final player. What a game #1 to start off this matchup, Revin.
I mean, I thought Fears was going to be the top slayer for H2K, but it's actually Legal.
Yeah.
41 and...
That's get rid of the Vesper. Get rid of the Vesper. We do not want to see that one at all. So that's gone. So and there's the afterburner. We mentioned this, how we kind of expected it to be gone. You can see it's being taken out again by H2K, surprisingly. Not really what I expected to see here in Game 2.
Well, I mean, Afterburner, that's going to limit, how far you can push up early in the rounds, and there's that overkill coming out from Chino, so that's going to limit, of course, the sniping ability, but, the secondary is obviously very viable in some situations, though some close-quarter gunfights. Well, we'll see who decides to take the sniper after this team. I do think having a sniper on breach is very effective. There are certainly some spots where you use it, and there you go, there's the thermal.
Top green is very, very popular, the top glass area to watch over the B site. Thermal being banned out by Fears, and there goes the Shiva again. That is definitely the target ban on Phizzurp, and Legal answers right back with high caliber, something we saw in game #1.
No protects just yet, so people just removing what can be used in the game.
And obviously, I hope
maybe you could take out something like Flak Jacket or the HC car.
Yep. And I hope in the last pick that they don't protect something, because obviously there would
that'd be useless.
They would be absolutely useless. But in our final pick of this ban and protect phase, what are you kind of expecting to see? I wouldn't be surprised to see Flak Jacket get brought out.
Or maybe a stun.
There goes rapid fire. Typically, if one tactical goes, the other does, but right now with only one pick left, it's going to be overclocked.
Very similar to the hardpoint, aside from the Vesper getting protected.
And now with just Flak Jacket really being the final perk one that a lot of players would use, you got to kind of expect it to be used because of this map. It has some very sick nade spots. We've seen Vicento try to show them off once or twice. Sometimes he does fail at that one, which is a very famous clip from him. But in the specialist draft, active camo being picked up right away, as well as overdrive for DT.
It's funny that you bring up Flak Jacket against DT, because you remember that round 11 qualifier Chino. So I think whenever you have one good first perk, I mean, Afterburner is great. You know, you might choose to use perk 1 agree with that, but now no overclock, no afterburner. I think you should be safe. Just throw on Flakjack under your class.
Yep.
No need to get a pointless death by, you know, a Hail Mary grenade or a HCXD card, something like that. So play it safe, throw Flakjack on your class.
Love the Vision Pulse pickup by Sender, but really the specialist that I think has begun to transform in Black Ops 3
Camo.
for me has to be active camo. I think all the casters at the Invitational were kind of like, this is pretty average. What have we seen from it? But now, I mean, you can kind of touch on this.
I'm even turning tides on it.
Yeah,
You know?
how much has this transcended the game and really kind of how we see players play certain rounds?
I mean, the thing is, if you're not expecting someone to use camo, like, we've played wagers and people have used camo against us, and so it can be tough to see them at times. And players, as the game evolved, you know, they're starting to recognize the situations. Okay, I should pop camo here and maybe try to push up on the bomb site, try to push up for an early kill, or try to get this position early on in the game. So camo can definitely have an effect, and I think it will have an effect on this game.
Oh, especially with the coordinated pushes towards that B site. Also, top middle, it is very popular. If you pop it, go right on towards that middle hut, try to either snipe a player in top broken or snipe a player on top AC. That has happened many times in professional matches that I've seen. But then the Vision Pulse as well. This is a nice pick. Definitely useful for that B site as well. If you sit inside the construction area, pop that Vision Pulse, you can see, hey, there's 2 players top porta potty. There's 1 player in second hard point. Gives your team all the information you need.
Yeah, that's something you could really use wherever you are on the map. Just if you want to clear out a certain power position late in the round, you want to check if they're planning the bomb or not. A lot of uses can be used from Vision Pulse, but it comes back to how we were talking during that first map. Do you wait for that perfect time to pop the Vision Pulse, or you say, hey, you know, I got Vision Pulse, I'm going to just check this area and just use it as quickly as you can?
And no overclock, so maybe when you had an opportunity to get it almost 3 times a game, now you're back down to really, I only expect 2. I really only expect 2, maybe only 1 if it goes very quickly. So that goes back to using it at the perfect time. We're getting through the Create a Class stage now. As we head into score streaks, the HC is open. You expect that to be used.
The dart.
The dart as well.
Strike.
And now on this map earlier, we saw in round 11, Attach used that dart he had and wasn't on the map for his team. The rest of his team got taken down. He just got killed in his spawn. Kind of backfired for him. Not sure if I really like the round 11 dart. I'd rather see a play, right, where you get first blood for your team and then use it when you have an advantage, not off the start, because obviously certain pushes, your presence is needed. Unfortunately for FaZe, it didn't work out in that round.
I mean, you got it. You might as well use it, but you always run that risk because you have a lifeless body on the map. And if your teammates aren't protecting you, that leaves you very vulnerable because you can't really do anything back to them.
And it's very tough to fly. I'll tell you that right away. I've crashed
You're not
that
a pilot?
I've crashed that thing more times than I've gotten kills with it, so I've taken that off and I now use Guardian and Search and Destroy. But I'm a little bit different than the pro players themselves. We are now heading into map number 2 of this best of 5 series. Be sure to use the hashtag CWLPS4 to send in all your predictions. Revan, you said in game number 1 you didn't really expect DT to put up too much of a fight, if I'm not mistaken. You kind of went with Apotheon.
I wanted DT to win.
Oh, you wanted DT to win. Okay, so now you're going into game 2. You think this is Apotheon?
I think H2K. Yeah, I think this is all H2K.
I'm still getting it all messed up.
But it's going to be DT. They're going to have the first offense here, and it looks like they're going up for a B hit. You got Diabolic with the bomb in hand. Let's see what he decides to do here.
No Vesper. Going to be rocking that VMP. First blood going over to Chino in the middle map area. He got right towards that top AC. Called out the players that were getting aggressive. You can see right now, H2K electing to not really set up for the B-bomb site at all. They've got 1 player top broken, but outside of that, it's 3 players in bottom middle. The bomb already going down. That's going to be the number advantage and the objective down for DT, definitely priming themselves for a round 1 victory.
Yeah, that's a bit risky for H2K. Legal got taken out early in the round and no rotation came to help out over near the B-bomb site. But going for an early middle presence on the defensive rounds, not a bad idea. You got to watch out for Chino. He's over near the middle of the map. Gun engagement's going down. Sender does find Phizzurp. Here's Chino. He's going to be able to take down Lacefield, so it's all up to Fierce. Early one before he gets taken down, as it's going to be DT. Strong performance in that first round.
Nice round by DT, kind of playing it a little bit more methodically, waiting out the round, making sure they cover all their corners, they watch everything they need to. Diabolic in your final kill cam, picking up that kill. What I love, too, is Chino getting aggressive top AC. He picks up first blood, Revan, and then he immediately dips right out because he spotted 2 other players. Got so much information for his team. A flawless round 1 from DT as they start off game 2 in the lead.
All right, so let's see how H2K is going to respond. And you see Phizzurp, the double smokes coming out. But something interesting I saw on Diabolic's class is he chose not to use Dead Silence. And I think this is always an interesting dynamic you see within the game. Do you choose to use Blast Suppressor? Do you use Dead Silence? how do you decide which one to leave out? Because Tac Mask is a very good perk 3 as well.
Oh, absolutely, and you can wind up subbing it out with if you have a smart team and you rock trophies instead, then maybe I don't need Tac Mask on if it's a typical push. Right now, though, the bomb is down in a 4v4 scenario. First blood over to Legal this time around. Happy answers back with one of his own. Love that positioning from Lacefield. Sitting bottom side, gets one. Center gets the better of him on the second. There's that trade again. Pro players showing why they are so good at this game mode, because they are always there to trade with their teammates. Happy tries to challenge. He falls to the hands of Fears. That's going to tie it up 1-1.
All right, so DT, they come out strong on their first offensive round, and H2K, they're able to answer right back. Both teams deciding to go for a B hit. Looking at Fears, he's only got flat, fast hands, and dead silence. Not even choosing to use Blast Suppressor or Attack Mask, or going for that perk 3 greed.
He does have that primary gunfighter on, rocking those 3 attachments. Happy with no perk 2, no perk 1 as well. Here's his teammate Chino with that M8. Reflex, long barrel, and stock. He's going to watch for the aggression in middle map again, but this time around H2K say, okay, boys, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's set up around B this time, and right now that's the right play call, so the bomb is heading towards that area.
Yeah, however, nobody watching the middle of the map, so if somebody from DT just wanted to walk right up, they could. But Chino, using Overdrive as a specialist, I've gotten mixed reviews with it. I've gotten mixed things with it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about this specialist in Search and Destroy?
Overdrive on this map, not too big of a fan of, because basically anywhere you try to hit and catch a player off guard, they're pretty much ready for you. Like, you're not going to have someone on defense, right, who's just going to push right into construction and kind of just give himself up. They're going to utilize that cover that they have from top glass, or if you're rushing into bottom. If you're rushing in towards, like, bottom middle, that's really the best place I could see for Overdrive. You pick up a quick kill, immediately drop back into your base. Outside of that, though, not a big fan of it on this map. Other maps, though, definitely you can make a kind of a case for it, like Fringe comes to mind. But as of right now, back into this round, it's DT with 1 player remaining. Chino last alive. They still have to plant the bomb. You can see he's got 3 players in his vision, utilizing that Codcaster vision. But Chino gets traded by Phizzurp. That's going to be a 2-1 round lead for H2K.
Yeah, DT, they were taking that round very slow, and they didn't give themselves much time to work with towards the end of the round. I mean, I forgot who it was. I think it was Happy pushing in towards bottom broken. Didn't check his corner. He got taken down by Legal, who was just waiting there in the corner. And right now, H2K, they're playing some solid search and destroy, but it's still early. We're in the phase of the game where both teams are really just trying to feel each other out and see where they could adapt and change it. But you got Phizzurp. He's got that RC car or HC car ready to use.
Well, looks like it's going to be another B play call from H2K. Legal watching their full flank. Phizzurp slowly inching up. You have to remember, they did ban out thermals, so him tossing these smokes gives him perfect cover for that B bomb site. Right now, though, he's got his teammates around him. When will they elect to get aggressive on that bomb site? Hasn't seemed like anything as of yet. Good use of the trophies. They will elect to call in the HC. We'll see what he can get done with this score streak.
And he actually gets a kill. He takes down Diabolic. Fierce finds Sender. Chino getting aggressive, does find one, but is immediately traded out. It is all down to Happy now. As he makes his way through middle map, he's going to go for a bit of flank, but you got 1 player here. He's going to be Legal. Checks the door. Happy can't connect with the kill, as it's going to be H2K taking 3-1 lead.
Great map awareness from Legal. He was sitting in the back of the map, watching the flank the entire time. Instead of just running past that door, decides to check it, gets the better of Happy there. Great stuff from him as H2K now take a 3-1 round lead. Phizzurp making use of that score streak as well, something you'd love to see if you're a fan of H2K.
Yeah, surprised he was actually able to get a kill, because, you know, why aren't you using Flak Jacket?
Yeah, I mean, let's quickly swap through. Let's see, does anyone even have Flak on in this game?
This guy doesn't, Happy doesn't.
Yeah.
Chino does.
Chino does, which is one of the few that I've seen so far.
I don't think you'll see Chino ever not use Flak Jacket after the LAN qualifier, but Diabolic has it. Even Sender has it, so Happy the only one without it on. Well, at least on Dream Team.
It does look like DT electing to play it slow. It does look like H2K are electing to play it slow. But the pressure is definitely going towards the A-bomb. Is that player planning it as of right now? Diabolic? No, he is not. He's just sitting on the A-bomb site, utilizing it for cover. The first blood going in on Phizzurp, who was sitting top broken. Heads-up play from Happy to take him down. And Chino watches the flank, completely outclassing their opponents there in the start of this round.
Nice round by DT. You know, they push up. They got control of middle map.
Pretty easy.
And then they made H2K worried. You know, they're like, oh, they're on the A-bomb site. They have no middle presence. You know, DT just controlling the middle of the map, forcing the rotation off of H2K, and then caught them in the middle of the rotation. You see Sender there in the round-ending kill cam. That's a great play call by DT. I think that was Sender probably calling that play, as now they bring it to within 1 round.
H2K are in the lead, but if I'm DT, I'm recognizing that right now, H2K have completely given up all middle map presence in, what, 2 or 3 rounds in this game. You can see, again, DT hitting mid-map with 2 players. Legal, the only one in the back who's trying to watch their bottom lab. Another great use of trophy systems being put down. At the start of round number 6, it's going to be up to H2K to get this bomb planted.
And there's only one player for DT here to try to contest the B bomb site. Phizzurp, you know, he could have just tossed his smokes out, went for the plant. As he makes his way over now, he's going to go for the bomb plant. But you see on the minimap, let's switch over to Chino. He's going on the flank. Happy does find one on Legal. And now H2K knows this is coming in, and he has his overdrive ready to use. Not sure if he'll use it in this round, but as he makes his way in towards construction, it's going to be Diabolic there. Great use of teamwork. Diabolic finds 2. It's all down to Lacefield.
Those shots were absolutely sick from Diabolic as he gets a 3rd. What a round from him. He'll get his HC car. He'll let his teammate wind up getting this defuse here as he realizes, hey, I'd rather be 1 kill off getting a 2nd score streak than really trying to get closer to my dart. What a round from DT, led by the accuracy of Diabolic. I want to see this in the final kill cam because he completely shreds the player off the AC vent here and then follows it up when he gets a call out from Sender. Love the confidence from him to bring his team back in this game.
Now, that was just really great teamwork from DT overall, right? They were able to help each other out in each and every engagement that happened during that round, and they were there to trade the kills if something went wrong. So now there are going to be a couple of specialists able to be used, and Chino, he's going to pop this overdrive, and it looks like it's going to be a quick A-bomb hit.
Yeah, this is exactly where you expect to see the overdrive be used. Misses his boost slide there, so that does slow him down a little bit. But here again, H2K, really no presence by A.
But the
Chino
bomb is over near B.
He has an opportunity to catch this player off guard. You can see this is kind of their setup they were trying to go with, but H2K sniffing this out. They're sending 1 player to watch this flank. He's fully there, fears. What a heads-up play from him to cover their back.
All right, so this might force a small rotation out of H2K, right? Okay, we got a kill over near the A-bomb site. He was pushed through the palace.
Got to be there.
This might be an opening over near the B-bomb site for Diabolic. He has Heat Wave, he has the bomb, he has the HC as well available to use. It's going to be up to Phizzurp to try to spot this out. As nades start trying to fight through, you see the rotation coming back for H2K, but the bomb's not being planted by Diabolic.
Nice stun by Diabolic. That's going to give him the green light to plant the bomb. It's now a 2v4. This is still a winnable round, especially with Heat Wave, but I love the decision. From H2K, they're all pushing the greenhouse side together. They're ensuring that no matter what, they can't have 1 player get caught in a one-on-one engagement. And look at Sender right now. He's got players focusing in all around, and there's that L car. Gets 1 kill. There's someone already on the bomb defusing. Heads-up play from H2K. That's going to put it to a 4-3 round lead in favor of them.
You know, interesting play from DT. Chino using the overdrive to try to gain early position over near the A-bomb site. Didn't really get too much done with it, but he did force a rotation, which gave an opportunity for his teammates to get that bomb down over near the B-bomb site. They just didn't have enough players alive to defend it. All 4 up for H2K versus the 2 guys from DT, and Diabolic just kind of left Sender alone, right? He tried to go for the wrap over near middle map, and it was Sender really fighting 4 players out by himself.
And I've kind of heard you preach this a lot of times, Reverend, where if you're in that situation, you got to get a kill before planning. You got to get a kill before planning. You got to give your team some sort of kind of positioning in this round where you can utilize it for an advantage later on. Lacefield, 1 kill away from his HC. He does have that kinetic armor. You can see this is not the first time he used this spot so far in this game. Do his opponents know he's here? It doesn't look like as of yet. He was just spotted sliding away. It's because he got that call out that the HC is flying in. He's got a player flanking behind him, and he just absolutely turns on Chino, but fears, shoots his own teammate in the back. That was a disgusting turnaround from Lacefield. There's the trade coming in from either team. It's now a 2-on-2. Fears and Legal going up against now just Happy.
And Happy, he's coming around the flank, does find 1.
That's heartbreaking.
Connects with the shot, but he does find both players. He's forced to back down and reload. Does he decide to push the issue here? The bomb is getting planted right now over near the B-bomb site. Does have a frag grenade to use, and now he knows the bomb is down, and his whole side of the map is open. He's got a lot of area to cover here.
Will he see the player in bottom green? He does. He does give away his position. He's going to go right away from the challenge.
Nice.
Gets the clones and drops the player. It's now a 1-on-1. Great shots from him to stop that psychosis from really being
if he
useful.
Goes back down the stairs.
Oh my God, this could be perfect timing. Illegal. He's going to wind up dropping into his bottom greenhouse. He was definitely spotted. Legal sees exactly where he is. He elects not to shoot. He's just going to wait out the round. Legal showing his veteran Call of Duty play. He does get spotted, though, but no, there's not going to be enough time to get the defuse in from Happy. Happy does all he can to clutch up the round, but unfortunately, in the end, it's not going to be enough. Another round victory for H2K here, as they're just 1 round away, Revan, from going up 2-0 in the series.
And, you know, I thought H2K, they're going to have 1 guy go top glass, 1 guy go bottom glass, just kind of have 1 player look over the other, but Fears, he got caught as soon as he popped that psychosis. Happy making that as close as he possibly could. But he does have camo here. So let's see. I think you got to use it in this round. You only need H2K only needs one more to close out this map. Let's see how he decides to use it.
Especially on offense, right? You could see how he just flew up towards that top AC area as a sniper bullet there just narrowly misses his head. He tried to get up there without his opponent seeing. Unfortunately, though, Sender gets way too aggressive top middle without the cover of his AR. Lacefield drops Diabolic with the HC. Everything falling apart for DT here in round number 9.
You got to use your camo. I mean, you also had Heatwave for Diabolic. Now it's a 1v3. Finds one middle map. Sloppy shots, but he does finish the kill. Challenging with the RK5. He gets taken down by Phizzurp as H2K. Strong showing in the search and destroy, but some questionable decisions from Dream Team in that map.
Oh, absolutely. There's your final kill from Phizzurp. Great use of the SVG in that round to close it out. So now H2K really not surprising me too far in this series. They win that first round. They win that first map, sorry. Then they take map 2 with relative ease to now go up 2-0 against their opponents. DT with their backs against the wall heading into uplink. I said it was going to be a 3-1 win right off the bat. Gone off the table by Chino. Same thing we've seen in games 1, 2, and 3. Lacefield taking it out again. You can see these teams had a very specific setup coming into this game, and this series they're continuing to do the same exact thing. Sender takes the Vesper off the board, and there's that overdrive ban that we really do see quite often in CTF and uplink.
So expect to see, you know, concussions and flashbangs to go. You don't really want to get slowed down in a game like uplink, but there you go. The overclock going out again. That's going to be Diabolic choosing to ban that. And now we're down to just 2 bans. High Caliber goes as well. Let's see what Happy or Legal decide to choose here.
Expecting Rapid Fire to be gone. There it is.
There you go.
And possibly, I mean, I would be surprised to see an M8 ban in the final thing.
Flashbang.
They're going with Flashbang. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you agree with that pick to ban out the Flashbang last? Concussions are still up.
Yeah.
And in a game mode where movement is the big thing, where a concussion slows you down.
At least with the flash, you could continue sprinting while you can't see anything on your screen.
Yeah.
At least you still have that movement. It's a tough call.
Like, let's put an example to it, right? A player's about to go score. They see the portal. Opponents spawn up. They chuck flashes at him. He can kind of still expect to know where the portal is. He can go for that dunk. Concussion, he's just barely moving. He can kind of get shut down before he can even get a toss off. Now in the specialist draft, though, kinetic armor picked up right away by Lacefield. Not a surprise at all.
Camo getting picked up by Phizzurp here. We'll see if that gets any use in some respawn, but on the side of DT, you got the Scythe for Chino, the Annihilator for Sender, Kinetic for Diabolic, Heatwave for Happy as Legal. He's going to pick up the Scythe, and Fears. Does Fears ever not choose the Annihilator?
I mean, it's his go-to weapon after that 4-piece he got back at the Invitational. Let's talk quickly about the active camo pick by Phizzurp. On Infection, maybe he grabs a drone.
I actually love it here because
and picks it up. Yeah, walk me through.
If you're ever in a situation, right, you're pinned back in your base, you're trying to fight out, right? You have the players who are in good positions behind your tank. They're forcing you back in your base.
Yeah.
Pop that camo, take out one player, give your teammates some breathing room, establish some control over near your base. I think it's more of like, guys, we need to break out of our spawn now. I'm going to pop my camo. Let's do this.
More of a defensive pick you're kind of going with here. Couldn't agree more, because when you think of the uplink maps in this game, this has 2 of the most dominant, really, spawn traps you can put your opponents in if you get a strong setup. If you are spawning on that church side and try to score on that second bedroom or that 2-story bedroom area, we mentioned how you can spawn them out towards Snow Street. There's an example of where maybe he pops that, pushes in towards the B site, and regains control of middle map for his team. That spawns his opponents all the way back, gives his team a chance. On the other side of things, when they get that double tank setup, you got a player moving the drone through Graveyard. They can keep tossing 1-point plays. Well, you know what? You spawn Snow Street. As you mentioned, you pick that player off the head glitch on tank. He has no idea you're there. You just broke out of a setup clean with just 1 specialist use.
I love theory crafting like this, you know, just thinking of all the different situations where you could see some of these specialists used and kind of when is that right moment, you know, do you wait for a specific opportunity? But, you know, I really want to see Phizzurp earn a lot of camos because there's so many different ways he could use this, but really the focus is going to be on DT for this map. This is the last chance for them to stay alive within this series, and now we see what are these guys made of.
Exactly, and this is kind of where you want to see them step up, strictly because, too, let's say you're a fan of competitive COD, right? You see DT start the season 0-1. If I'm being upfront, I go, okay, well, that's no surprise. But if they take the first matchup of their CWL season, bringing down H2K, who's got this brand new organization behind them, a lot to prove for this new group, that's a statement right there.
It's also great for, like, team confidence, right?
Yeah.
You know, guys, we deserve to be in this league. We are a top team. You know, even going back to how you thought about them for the LAN qualifier, you didn't really think they were going to qualify. But, you know, they're here, they're in the league, and now they have a chance to show that they are a top team.
They have a chance, but they're down 2-0. Heading into Game 3, it's going to be Infection Uplink. Revan, who are we watching at the start?
You know, I really want to see Phizzurp, just because he really intrigued me with that camo pick, with that specialist ability. I'm dying to see how he decides to use this ability.
Well, he's got that M8 in hand, already using that boost slide to get towards that church area. You can see the pressure going down more heavily towards that B Street from DT. Great use of tacticals. Phizzurp just got so disoriented off the start.
Know what's going on.
And there's the pressure coming in from So Street. Diabolic's able to pick up 2 kills. Happy's there to trade it out as well. DT with a very strong beginning to Game 3. Exactly what they need.
And you love what Happy's doing. Look how far he has pushed up. Chino feels so safe doing this right now. Looks like something may have been wrong with rules. I got to think something with the respawn delay was gone wrong there. But we'll see what's going on. We got our admin communicating with the players, but man, if you're on DT, that was a great start for them. You know, they had mid-map control, they had Happy pushed all the way up in the H2K base. You know, things could have been going better for them. They could have potentially got at least a 1-point score for that.
You know, it's unfortunate for DT, but obviously you got to make sure everything's right in the game. You can't have a game being played out with wrong settings or something not going right, to say the least. So as we get this game reset, you saw the tacticals being used by DT to completely really shut down Phizzurp as he tried to get in that power position with the AR. How will they adapt going into this reset? What will we kind of see here? You got to expect tac mass being brought out.
Maybe something like that. The thing with that opening play, right? So Phizzurp, he got hit with a stun.
Yeah.
Got hit with an EMP. He was playing on that B stairs. He couldn't worry about Snow Street. He was like, oh my God, they're so aggressive over near the middle. I just got hit with all these different things. Diabolic comes in from the side. He picks up one. His teammates are there to follow it up. Happy gets the clutch kill over near barn. He pushes all the way up through the graveyard. His teammate behind him, I think it was Chino, carrying the uplink drone. You know, it's just a good overall setup for DT. Hopefully they could replicate that start, but now H2K, they kind of know what to expect.
Yeah.
And they could, you know, try to form a counter on the fly and see if they could slow down DT here.
Oh, absolutely. And now you kind of begin to wonder, right? You saw the active camo be picked.
Yeah.
Excited to see how that gets put into play. Really,
I could talk about camo all day.
I know.
At the land qualifier, I wasn't sold on it.
Yeah.
But now I'm starting to come around.
Now you're a fan of it. I think it's one of those specialists that we're going to continue to see change the game as time goes on. Psychosis is another one of those that I still think hasn't reached its full potential as of yet. A lot of people kind of call it in and then they run the opposite way. We'd love to see a little bit more consistency from players on that one. But as time goes on, that will only be the only way to really tell.
Yeah.
But between H2K and DT, I mean, Chino still for me hasn't really stepped up as big as he really should in this Series 4 squad.
I mean, the good thing for them is it's still early, right? So let's say they lose today. You go back with your team, you go into the theater mode, you watch these games, and you kind of go back. You look at, you know, guys, what did we do wrong? What can we improve on? But you also look at the other team. What were these guys doing right? You know, maybe we could take something that we saw they did that we liked, that, oh, you know, we can improve on that. We can bring that, incorporate that into our own gameplay. And that's how you improve as a team, as a player, is just by watching film. You got to put in the hours not only playing, but doing your research.
And you could see kind of really no thermal in that last S&D, but Phizzurp was the only one who capitalized on that with the smokes. You didn't see DT to bring that out. Well, now maybe they say, whoa, that was really smart. In our next S&D, let's utilize that same strategy. Those are kind of those changes you expect to see. We are loading back into the map. Everyone has their correct specialist. Everything's set up. Hopefully this time around, though, we can bring it to you uninterrupted. Thankfully, too much action didn't go on in that first setup before the reset. So back off the start. Let's watch Phizzurp again. Let's see how he winds up playing.
See if he gets bombarded by all these different grenades
Or
again.
maybe they told him, all right, guys, we got to replay this exactly how it happened. Phizzurp just lets himself die to people inside the middle B building. But let's head back into game number 3 between H2K and DT, now underway.
Well, now I kind of want to watch, you know, what DT's going to do.
Okay,
Are they going to change things up? So you got Chino. He's going to be an assault rifle player. No flak on him. Just, you know, fast hands, Zen, tac mass. Gotta go over to Diabolic.
Okay, well, that was the worst thing that could have ever happened. He just
Three players get stunned.
threw the concussion into his own teammate. Now, though, they begin to get aggressive towards middle map. First blood over to DT. Great use of the Semtex grenade, and Diabolic just melts Phizzurp there right outside of barn, and it seems DT again get the better start between the two teams.
All right, so now they're trying to push up. Moving over to Happy. He's inside the church. He's got a teammate behind him. It's going to be Sender. Goes for the easy 1-point toss. Within 30 seconds, DT, they're already on the scoreboard. Let's see if they can keep it with us. Keep this up. What Sender needs to do right here is make sure he stays alive. This is a very valuable position he could stay alive in, and he put a lot of pressure on the H2K from this spot.
Well, it was really from both teams. You had Sender in that power position that really needed to stay alive, and then you had Legal doing the same thing for H2K. He wins the gunfight up against Sender there. That's going to stop the aggression momentarily for DT. If you are H2K and you get spawned on the back of your base, you need to rotate over towards this graveyard area and keep control of it to push out towards middle map. Another 1-point toss going in, and already in just the first minute and 15 seconds, it's DT up 2-0.
That's really good for DT. I mean, we were talking about it, right? They're potentially on like the least variable side, right? So the fact that they've had 2 opportunities to get 1-point toss, and they've connected on both of them, that's a good start for DT. But let's see if they can keep it up going into the mid-game here.
Sender watching over that connector area. Chino with that M8 just pre-aiming corners. Diabolic now trying to put some pressure on the map for his team. You can see DT slowing it down quite a little bit, electing to not put any pressure on the opponent's base. But Diabolic says, you know what, let me take matters into my own hands. Gets 1 kill. Chino now with that drone. He's got 1 lead blocker in Happy. We'll see if they're able to put another point on the board.
Sender trying to help out his teammate. Chino goes for the 1-point toss, lines it up, he shoots, and he scores. Now it's going to be up to his teammates. Can they maintain this position? Maybe they can start to get some sort of relay going. 3 go down momentarily for DT as now they're back off the respawn, and it's going to be another battle for mid-map control.
So DT, right, are doing a great job of dictating the pace of this game. Yep. They slowed it down, and they said, all right, Diabolic, you're going to fly in, gets 2 kills. That starts the aggression into Barn. Then they score. Now look at them. Let's slow it back down. Let's get players in the positions we want. Let's try to get 1 or 2 kills to get the entries. There's Happy. Now we'll get another kill middle map. Now we'll move the drone. That's what you want from DT. H2K this whole time,
they're in their base.
They've been reactive, right? And when you're getting spawn trapped, you can't afford to be reactive. You need to be able to dictate how it goes. You need to regain control of your base and middle map presence. Right now, though, it seems like this game has been all DT so far.
All right, 2 down for either team. All 4 go down, actually, for H2K. Now you see DT, they're immediately going to grab that drone.
And this is where the spawn trap can come in.
Yep, Diabolic, he's playing point for his man, Chino. Going in through bottom church, he's going to go for the dunk. Zooms in, gets the dunk. Risky play for Chino, but it pays off. They're up by 5 points right now. And you got Sender, he's bottom church, looking for more kills along with Happy. H2K, the only time we've really seen them in the middle of the map was at the beginning of the game. Ever since then, they've really just been fighting to regain control of their base.
And this is right now a master class of how to lock down this side of the map, how to score from this side. Right now, Diabolic moving this drone back through Grave. Okay. He's got 2 lead blockers, 1 player right above him. He's going to go right back in for the dunk again. H2K have completely forfeited their side of the map, and you can see Diabolic knows that he's going to wait, let his team regain positioning by that middle statue. Such smart play from DT, outclassing their opponents.
You know, you got 3 players from DT on the H2K side of the base. They can't move out of their spawn. Happy continuing to control over near the church. He finally gets shut down, but moving over to Sender, he's starting to heat up, man. He's 10-5 on his 6th free. He's got the Annihilator to use. Now all 4 go down for DT. The tides might be turning here as H2K, they're going to have a chance to score.
Now H2K should know that 2 players spawned up this back left snow area by connector. Will they spot the players? Oh, it doesn't appear so, as Sender just completely shuts down that push. He's now 12-6, double positive. Happy right there with him at 11-7. Slaying completely in DT's favor so far.
All right, so Lacefield, he's the furthest player pushed up for H2K, but he's been spotted by Chino. Trying to stay alive, moves out, takes down Diabolic, trying to turn around, take down Chino. And he's doing a great job staying alive so far. Will finally get shut down, but he was forcing players for DT to be mindful of his position on the map. You know, they had to make sure they had control of their base before they started to push up. Time starting to wind down here in the first half. Only 25 seconds remaining, and man, Courage, it's been all DT.
Ooh. Happy putting on a show right now with the RK5. He's doing all he can to give his team 1 more opportunity to score. Unfortunately for him, though, he's the only one pushed up for his team. Didn't clear out the opposing team's tank quite well enough with 7 seconds remaining. Maybe 1 last chance. No shot. He scores this one. Nice beatdown, but that's going to do it. 7-0 at the half. Revan, we were kind of ranting and raving of, how when you spawn church side, you're in the better position because you can spawn trap them Snow Street. Well, either we were A, blatantly wrong, or B, DT just completely outplayed their opponents.
Well, look, on both sides on this map, there's the potential to get that spawn trap going and continue that relay of points, and that's pretty much what DT did. They kept the H2K pinned all the way back, and when you do that, when you have no position at your tank or no presence inside church, or you're not controlling over near the barn side, you're just opening it up for easy 1-point scores. So I just want to go ahead and flip through these DT players because I saw a few specialists available to use. Okay, so it's just Sender. Still has that Annihilator ready to pull out whenever he wants to use it.
So now, do you think he uses this right off the start? Or, well, actually, he won't have to because his team just killed all of H2K. And they already have the spawn trap in position. This is where they can rally a ton of points, where DT can keep putting in the pressure. But there is Fears using that Annihilator, gets 2 kills. Sender tries to answer with one of his own. Not sure if that was the best timing of it because really, he had no teammates there to support him, gets 1 kill, not able to connect with the second. Nicely done by DT to try to regain control of middle map. Unfortunately, though, H2K gets the better of him in their base.
Clint and Matt are going crazy over there on the primary stream.
Yeah, I have no idea what's happening.
Maybe a little bit of a questionable play by Sender taking out the... I thought he was going to take it out as the H2K guys were spawning up. You know, trying to pick them up as they're rotating back to defend their goal, but now you see, let's move over to Chino. As 3 go down for H2K. Chino, he's going to pick up the drone. He's got a scythe available to use. Maybe he passes it ahead, but Happy, he gets taken down. He's going to try to move up towards the second story, and he's just buying time, waiting for his teammates to pick up the kills. 2 go down. Chino makes his move. He's going for the dunk.
What a play!
Hits the slide, gets the
that
dunk.
Was sick.
Great play by Chino right there.
Look at the confidence right there in his movement to be able to hit that boost slide to get that 2-point dunk in. Revin, I'm going to be honest with you and say DT do not look like the same team we saw in Games 1 and Games 2. Right now, they are just running away with this one. They want to stay alive in this best of 5.
Yeah, so keeping their hopes alive for now. Obviously, there's still the potential for H2K to come back into this game, but they have a lot of work ahead of them. And all the specialists being acquired by DT. You see the kinetic armor available to use as well. But moving over to Lacefield, he's pushing up over to the barn side of the map. The drone now in possession by Phizzurp, and 2 go down for DT. So here's an opening. Here's an opportunity for H2K. Lacefield does find one more in the back. They got to go for the dunk right here. I don't think the 1-point plays are going to cut it. And there you go. Points on the board for H2K.
Maybe that's all they needed, but as that happens, they're so far pushed up, Revin, that they have no mid-map presence. Yeah. Lacefield's the last one alive. He's just got to try to be a nuisance. Thankfully, for the rest of H2K, he's really just done even more than you would expect from him there, picking up, what, 3 kills in the opposing team's base. He's on a 7 streak. 1 more kill, he gets his lightning strike. This is kind of where the momentum can begin to shift into his team's favor. He gets the lightning, he gets the hellstorm. He has a specialist really popping to go for the dunk. Ooh. No, it's down 9-4. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and he's still alive. He gets 1 kill, tries to stay alive for a little bit longer.
He's getting challenged?
You don't do this. You bad boy. Ooh. Oh, thank God he gets cut down. 9-4. H2K, though, beginning to show some life.
Yeah, but now the drone in control for Chino moves it up a little bit on the map. As Diabolic, he's going to choose to take out the HCXD. Let's see what he can get done with this. Does find 1, but a team kill coming in from Lacefield as he chose to use that Hellstorm missile. Happy kills himself with the HCXD. What's going on in this game? As Chino, he takes down the Scythe. He's got some slaying to do over near top church.
Scythe in a very strong position, to say the least. He will have a field day up here, but the drone now being moved. It's completely flanking their back spawn area. They have no idea it's here, and there's another dunk by Lacefield. He's now got 2 dunks on the board, shuts down the site, and he still has an HC lightning strike. Revin, this was not 7-0 at the half, now 9-6, all the points coming in the last minute. If H2K can keep the spawn trap up, if they can keep this pressure in middle map, they're going to come back in this game.
Yeah, definitely possible for H2K here.
Nice,
you got to see
strike.
The lightning strike comes in, takes down Sender. Nate's flying out. It's all up to DT. They need to get this slaying done, but Phizzurp, he's pushed up. He's in good position to get these guys off free spawn. Does find 1, connects with the shot. 2 goes down. 2 go down. But nobody touching that drone just yet.
You can see the player inside barn. Chino just made a huge play for his team. Gets 2, gets a 3rd as well. They go for the 1-point toss. Lacefield gets picked off by Happy. Nice movement from him to ensure that it doesn't become a 1-possession game. And that might have been the saving grace for DT. They've looked like they've been falling apart in this second half. Happy double jumps, catches that drone, and now moves it through middle map.
Yep,
he's just going to wait out time here on top island, on top rock. He could sit here for the next 20 seconds.
I was about to bring that up. Do DT even have to push up with this drone? Nope. They could back up, they could set up.
There's
just casually tosses it off the map, picks up the kill on the Phizzurp. The drone does get reset, but 3 are down for H2K. Fear's last one up. And once again, DT, it looks like they will be able to close out the game right here.
And now by doing that, they basically baited H2K into getting spawn trapped in their own base. DT going to close out the last 90 seconds, regaining composure. They're going to force the Game 4 on CTF. What an uplink in Game 3 that just was between these two teams.
I mean, DT, really, that start off, right?
Yep.
At the beginning of the game, they were able to take control of the pace of the game and dictating it. You know, it was pretty clear. DT, they had a game plan going into that uplink, right?
Yep.
Seems like they executed it to near perfection. Got pretty close there in the second half. H2K almost able to complete the comeback, but looking at the kills, I mean, when you're getting outslayed this badly, like it's pretty tough.
Kills.
Yeah, pretty tough to convert on the scores.
19 kill difference between DT and H2. Right off the start, it looks like we're going to maybe see something similar.
Afterburner gets protected. First thing,
okay, so
something different.
You've seen Lacefield ban out Afterburner through this whole series. Now it gets protected, and here's what you mentioned, adapting. Phizzurp says, oh, you're going to protect Afterburner?
New.
Well, we're going to make sure you're loud as hell when you move on that map. Let's ban out Blast Suppressor. The Vesper being banned, no big surprise there, but Legal wants to make sure his teammates has that BMP to utilize.
All right, so let's see what comes out next. Could take out Tac Mask. Could take out Flak Jacket. It's clear that both these teams, they have something a little bit different. Chino going to take down Kinetic Armor. You see how effective Lacefield used that.
Yeah.
High Caliber, pretty common ban you see from game to game, from match to match. No surprise there for that getting banned. But now only 2 bans left, 1 for each team. Let's see what these guys decide to finish with.
Really no surprises so far outside of the first 2 picks and Afterburner being protected. You can see these 2 teams kind of waiting each other out. They want to make sure that, hey, if someone does something, we can answer back.
You want to respond.
It's coming down to the final few seconds. Smokes being dropped. That's a direct ban towards Phizzurp. And then Overdrive being banned out. No big surprise there.
So Shiva's still in play if Phizzurp wants to use that. Of course, this is more of like a SMG map, so maybe we won't see that. Tacticals, of course, still in. Your stun grenades, your flashbang grenades. Now we're moving into the specialist draft. You got the Psychosis getting picked up by Phizzurp, and immediately Sender goes for the Vision Pulse.
Yeah, the Psychosis pick, so great for when you're trying to capture a flag in those final moments. You pop that, who the heck is the real one? You got to find out who that one is. And then the Vision Pulse pickup. You want to know exactly where the opponents are coming from. If you're holding that flag, pop Vision Pulse, you buy yourself all the knowledge you could ever need. Active camo being picked up by both teams. You got to be excited about this one.
Yeah, I think in CTF, you know, you're trying to sneak behind enemy lines. You're going for that clutch return, trying to be the hero of the game. You pop that camo, you get the return, you win your team the game.
The crowd cheers.
I think that's what these guys are trying to go for. But you also got the Annihilator by Fears, no surprise. Chino with the Scythe, very common as well. And then Vision Pulse getting picked up by Lacefield. And Heat Wave by Happy. You were talking a bit about that. Let's see how effective he's able to use that specialist.
Let's talk about the ban of Blast Suppressor, because now that kind of changes up the entire movement system in Black Ops 3. Now, you know, you're trying to flank the guy who's holding the flag in the back of the map during a stalemate. If you boost when you have that full bar, you're seeing it. Obviously, if you slide and then use your boost, you're not seen on the minimap. But if you have a full bar and you do your boost, you will be seen for that first ping. That's a lot of information for pro players to work on.
And if you're using Afterburner, more than likely you're going to have like a full bar boost.
A trail of it following behind you as you move across the map.
So that's very interesting, because now you have to be mindful. When am I going to use my boost? As you get closer and closer towards the enemy flag, I expect to see players, you know, just casually sprinting.
Walking on over.
Just trying to make as little noise as possible. Maybe somebody picks up Dead Silence. I think Tac Mask might be something that is used a bit more, especially because concussions are still in, flashes are still in.
And there's no smokes out, so if people are going to use tacticals, it's going to be one of those too. So it's definitely a good point to make, but then you also have how you mentioned how, okay, wall running would be so popular on this map because you can really get around anywhere. Well, now with Blast Suppressor, you can spot any person who's trying to do a weird side flank, who's trying to cut down a hallway that normally they wouldn't be able to get down. So that's definitely going to completely impact how this game is played. Players are finishing up their classes. Heading into Game 4, I want your predictions.
Okay. I think DT takes it.
Yeah?
We're going to Game 5.
Wow, all right. Yeah, I mean, you predicted it earlier on.
I was sticking with that. You know, I said it at the beginning
of
the show. Yeah, I can't go back on my word now.
All right. Well, I trust you. I trust that decision. I personally think, though, H2K closed this one out. Phizzurp's heated. His smokes are gone. He wants to make sure he beats DT as bad as he can on this evac CTF. Loving the idea, though, of having no Blast Suppressor in play. Excited to see how the players adapt. I would not like
to play with those rules, man.
Oh, not at all, not at all.
I need my Blast Suppressor.
No troll picks as of yet. No Dead Silence Blast Suppressor bans in S&D so far this series. But we are heading in to this game number 4. Revan, everyone's in the lobby. Who are we picking to hop on board with off the start?
Why you always ask me? Why am I always the one who picks? Who do you want to watch?
No. Because let me see down there. What do you got in your hand right there? You got the controller.
This is a PlayStation 4 controller.
Yes, and you're driving, so you're the one that gets to decide.
I just want to take, you know, what you think into account. I mean, if you want, like, I'll just.
You're nice.
You want
my input.
Yeah.
You trust me.
I don't know if I trust you, but I would like your input. So do you have someone who would you like?
I want to watch Chino.
Okay.
I want to Chino because so far it seems like this series, things haven't been fully going in his way. How does this break start for him?
He's got the Shiva.
He's got the Shiva. I picked a good person to watch right now. He does have Afterburner on, and already there's pings all over him.
And he's also using TAC-Nest, so at least no dead signs from him. But I really want to see how is he going to use the Shiva to effect this. There are going to be a lot of close-range engagements. And right away, 3 go down for DT. What a start for H2K as immediately pushing right through the map. He's going to be able to get a touch on the map. We haven't even played a minute.
Happy's just sitting in a corner with a Kuda. He's trying to get his teammates to spawn. He does get one. That's a split spawn for the opponents. Barrow with that elo sight. It's one of those guns that you typically do have a lot of players who elect to use that elo on it. A lot of times subs won't have a sight on it because the iron sights are good enough. But at the start, it does look like that bad beginning for DT has been recovered from.
Yeah, they've stabilized.
EMP in hand. He's also got that L car in his back pocket.
Phizzurp
electing to use that Shiva with the dead silence like you predicted.
All right, so now he's going to push up over near the B-bomb site here. Makes his way towards Shadow Stairs, and we'll see what he decides to do here. And something that we didn't even touch on in the Bandit Protects, he's got the L car in his hand. So that's something that's really been able to be used in the entire series, but we haven't seen too much use from it.
Granted, it was nerfed in a prior patch, so it isn't the long-range, versatile pistol that you used to have, but it still gets the job right. Exactly. Nice use of EMPs there.
He's got camo already.
Goes to bring up that HGXD. The EMP hits it. He's got that camo ready to go. We'll see which way he puts it to use. He's got one teammate pushing out with him, not using it as of yet. One person on his left wall pops it in an interesting way. He kind of just uses it and immediately gets in a gunfight, so doesn't do as much as he would have liked, but Phizzurp will pull this flag. He's got 2 opponents rotating back here, and they're rotating back, but it looks like they're just going to be beaten out in speed right now. Thankfully, though, Sender does have that. She does catch Phizzurp in the last second as he's about to get around the corner. Lacefield, though, still with that flag in hand. He does have that objective. He's got Fears there as his lead blocker. He picks up the flag now. H2K trying to get this first.
He's got a lot of time to buy, man. Phizzurp trying to cover him. He's pushing up with the L-car. Does find the kill. Psychosis.
This was picked up.
Yeah, it's going to be in the hands of Diabolic. He's running this through the bottom, trying to juke out the other team. Was very close to doing so, but for now, both flags will get returned. But some players starting to earn their specialist abilities, starting to earn some score streaks that they could use in the later stages of the game.
And think, CTF is a 10-minute game mode, Revan. They've already gotten a lot of these abilities to use, right?
Yeah.
If you use them right away, you can get that 4 times a game. So right here, he just uses that. Phizzurp makes great work of the Psychosis. Now he's going to use them as bait as he heads into the opposing team's base. Well, now he can just use it again, probably even before this half ends.
Yeah, he's the last player alive momentarily for his team, but you know, it looks like they're missing a player. Check out Diabolic once again, behind the enemy lines, playing that kind of sneaky beaver type of role. Ooh. He's just going to wait for his teammates to pick up 1, 2 kills, and not even going to wait for that. As Happy takes down Lacefield, Diabolic immediately going to get the flag in his hands, but he's going to turn around, does find one. It's going to be Fears shutting him down, but on the other side of the map, you got one player who's going to be legal, comes right behind Chino, Pharaoh in hand, and it's going to be a counterpull here for H2K.
And look at these spawns, they're split on either side, and here's that use of camo, catches the player off guard, who's trying to cut him off. That Sender who does fall, he's got the flag out towards middle map, and you can see on your mini-map, this is going to be a capture. Revan, we've said, how is Active Camo going to be used in Respawn? How's it going to be used in Respawn? Well, there it is. The cap goes in. He's got his lightning strike. He's 25 points off of a Hellstorm. What a start from Legal. He's also on a 3-kill streak.
All right, so I think he's just going to play for his streaks here. You know, 3 go down for Dream Team. He's going to be able to push up very comfortably on the map, and he's just going to wait right here. One player for DT goes by. He picks up the kill, and he's got the Hellstorm missile, and that's something that could really come up clutch. You know, all your teammates go down. You need to take down the flag carrier, just call him the Hellstorm missile, something that could be very useful here in Capture the Flag.
And look at how long he's waiting out these streaks. Beautifully done by him.
About to get another camo as well.
Who's trying to flank. Can't win the gunfight there in those shadow steps. And you mentioned about to get another camo because he capped the flag. He got a couple kills.
And he's got overclock on.
He's getting it so fast because overclock is still available. It wasn't banned out this game.
I mean, when you protect Afterburner, You take out Blast Suppressor. At that time, you know, the team communication going on during that process is like, what is going on? Sometimes you might forget about something you had planned to do just because you're trying to respond to what the other team did.
Well, H2K still up 1-0. The flag being pulled momentarily by DT. Legal and Fears are there to shut down the gates before they can even get it out any further.
Wow.
And there's the CUDA from range. Chino just gets shut down. Legal now with full streaks with camo. He's all decked out in gold on the bottom right of his HUD. And don't do it. Okay, good. He can't get the two-piece because time ran out. Look at the slaying power right now. Let's bring back up that scoreboard really quick. +1, +5, +5, +2.
Everybody
overall,
positive.
+13 in this first half. If H2K can keep this up, they'll win their first match of the Call of Duty World League North American Pro Division.
All right, so I guess the one thing DT have to look forward to is they're only down by 1 flag.
Yep.
You know, that's really not too bad, but when you take into account you got a Hellstorm Missile, a Lightning Strike, HC might not be too effective, but the other two definitely. Those are the only streaks for H2K as Lacefield. Let's start with him at the beginning of this game. He's hardwired, doesn't want to get hit by any EMPs, but he does get taken down. HC getting some use, takes down Diabolic, and a Vision Pulse available for Sender. I think as he gets closer and closer to the H2K flag, we're going to see him use it.
Now, this is kind of where
Let him go.
You've got to begin to expect these spots, and Phizzurp reads them like a book. Phizzurp reads them like an absolute book, and you can see why a lot of people consider him kind of that theory crafting, that smart player. He's the one that thinks of things before other players do. You can see DT continuing to forget about that bottom area where you can kind of just wait it out, catch a player off guard. Phizzurp knows exactly, hey, this is a popular spot. Let me check it before he gets shot in the back as well. Great stuff from him to stop that aggression from DT. Now we're looking at a little bit of a standoff as players are getting set up on the map.
Yeah, they're just trying to find an opening on the map, right? Just try to find a kill here or there. Happy, he hears that player boosting around the map, takes down Phizzurp, and now he's got the heat wave, not going to be able to pop it there. HC comes in, takes a good chunk of damage off Fears. Fears just holding in the back. He's got the Shiva in his hand, does find one player coming through the kitchen side of the map. Going to get some help from Legal as he backs down. Legal does find Chino. The one thing I don't want to see H2K do is turtle too hard on their flag. You don't want to be in a position where you're just stuck playing defense for the entirety of the game because all it takes is one opportunity for DT, and that's like a flag cap right there.
Well, now the flag back at each team's base. Remember, H2K is up 1 uppy, sitting in the back of the base right now. He's going to pull the flag. He's got one lead blocker, but Sender loses a gun battle with Lacefield. Lacefield again. Lacefield gets the second. He's just a playmaker for this H2K team.
Yeah, big play by Diabolic as well, just getting the kills at his flag. Now he's going to start to push up. He's got a clear route towards the H2K base. As I say that, he gets taken down in the back. Legal, he's got camo ready to use. Could pop it right here. Finds one player over near top AC, takes down Sender. 2 go down for DT. Here comes Legal, finding more players. Pops the camo, immediately starts shooting, does not connect with the kill. But here comes Fears trying to follow it up. Big kills by Chino on the defensive side of things. Phizzurp responds right back. Now he has his psychosis. He's going to go for the flag at, throws it down, and the shock charge on the flag peg. I told you it was going to be used.
No, was it? I thought that was Heat Wave being used by. Go over to Happy really quick. Let's see if he. Yeah, he just used his Heat Wave.
Was it? Okay, my bad.
No. He just used his Heat Wave.
I saw the electricity. I got excited.
Trust me, I got excited with you, but I saw it was Happy. He's been using Heat Wave the whole series. Great stuff from him to get that player who's pushing through that mid-cuts area. 2 minutes remaining. DT still find themselves down by 1 cap. Sender, 5 and 15 right now. Not the big game you needed from him.
All right, so 2 minutes remaining. DT, there's still a chance. I got to go over to Lacefield. So he's got HC. He's going to choose to use it here to clear out the kitchen side of the map. Might barely miss one player jumping over near the second story, but just using the third-person capabilities, checking the wall run, checking all these different routes that DT can take. We'll find one over near the middle of the map. Does pick up the call on the Chino, and just like that, 3 go down for DT. Sender, last one alive. He's frantically trying to rotate back. Can he pick up the kill over to Legal? Yes, he does with that last shot. As Legal was about to get off screen, but Sender now finding himself in another fight, one over near top glass. It's going to be Fears taking him down.
And you mentioned how kills aren't everything, right? Spang isn't everything, KD isn't everything. But in CTF, where it's a game mode where not as many gun engagements happen, when your team is getting outslayed by what is about 20 kills right now, by H2K, that is not a winning formula. and it reflects in the score. 1 minute remaining. This is where DT now got to kind of start getting a little bit more frantic with their flag pulls. They just got to try to make a play happen. Sender picks up one. His teammate's there for the other. There's one person in the back of the map that's legal with the Hellstorm, and there's that score streak coming into play. Gotta love how he waited for that perfect opportunity. That's going to give his team enough time to wrap back to their base. And, Revan, that just might be the nail in the coffin for DT.
Yeah, it's got to be rough for DT, man. That was a great opportunity for them, but Lacefield doing damage. He's got Legal right behind him. 3 down for DT once again. Diabolic, he's able to pick up 2, takes down Legal and Lacefield. So just maintaining position for his team, but one player on the other side of the map, you got Phizzurp. He's there to go for this sneaky pull if he's able to.
Phizzurp going to elect to just grab the flag, run it back towards his top fence area. 20 seconds left. One final push from DT is going to be all they have. Beautiful use of Psychosis. Nice. Catches Happy off guard, and that is going to do it. H2K will be able to win their first series up against DT via, well, really just completely outslaying their opponents in this game 4.
Yeah, I mean, really fantastic job done overall by H2K. It's a team effort there. You got Fierce. He's 19-11. You got Legal. He is 20-13, 21-16 by Lacefield. Everybody going positive. Phizzurp, 12-9. Low kills in the department, but you saw how he was playing on the map, right? Being very sneaky, being very methodical about how he wanted to play. Look at the DT side. Sender, man, 8-18. Diabolic, 12-18.
Yeah.
You got to win those gunfights, especially those key engagements over near the H2K flag.
Sender averaged under a kill a minute in that CTF game. Not what you want from one of the vocal leaders of DT. Well, Revan, I got some bad news for you. I predicted H2K to win 3-1.
You're right.
H2K won 3-1.
Kills me to say it, but you were right.
Wow. All right, good. I like this. I like this how CWL is starting this season. Guys, don't go anywhere. The